So far, we've seen the naming of chemical compounds. Number 1, when we had a metal and a non-metal, and number 2, when we had two non-metals. Now, what happens when in a chemical compound, we have two elements and oxygen? Okay, so first recall, how do we name this? In this, we have a metal, a non-metal. So we know sodium is a metal, chlorine is a non-metal. So sodium remains as it is, and for chlorine, the suffix "ide" is added. So the name becomes sodium chloride. Now, when we have a compound, we have two elements and an oxygen. We follow certain rules. So let's see what the rule says. So first of all, we have that the non-metal is named with the suffix "ide." Even in NaCl, we saw that sodium remains as it is. So in this case, sodium remains as it is. We now deal with this part of the compound. So for this, the first rule says that the non-metal, in this case chlorine, is given the suffix "ide" if the number of oxygen atoms is 2. In this case, you see that the number of oxygen atoms is 2. Sodium remains as it is. The non-metal is chlorine. It's given the suffix "ide." So it becomes sodium chloride. When the number of oxygen atoms is less than 2. So here we have only one oxygen atom which is less than 2. So what does the rule say? The rule says that the non-metal is named with prefix hypo, and suffix "ide." So when in NaClO, we have the Na, which is metal, which remains as it is, that is sodium. This non-metal, that is Cl, is given the prefix hypo and suffix "ide." So when the number of oxygen atoms is less than 2, it becomes sodium hypochlorite. The name of the chemical compound KClO is, so in this case, you see that there is one oxygen atom. And the rule says, when we have oxygen atoms less than 2, the metal remains as it is, that is potassium. And we have the non-metal, which is given the prefix hypo and suffix "ide." So we get hypochlorite. So when the number of oxygen atoms is less than 2, we have the metal remains as it is, and it becomes hypo. So we have the prefix hypo and the suffix "ide." Now, what happens when the number of oxygen atoms are more than 2? So the rule says, if the number of oxygen atoms is 3, the non-metal is named with the suffix "ate." Again, the metal remains as it is, sodium, and for chlorine, which is the non-metal, we use the suffix "ate." So it becomes sodium chlorate. Similarly, if the number of oxygen atoms is more than 3, so in this case we have 4 oxygen atoms, again sodium remains as it is. The non-metal is given a prefix "per" and suffix "ate." So when we have 4 oxygen atoms, which is greater than 3, the metal remains as it is, which is sodium. The non-metal, chlorine, it's given the suffix "ate" and prefix "per." So it becomes sodium perchlorate. So these are the rules which are followed. So following the rules, KClO3 is known as, so we know when the number of oxygen atoms is 3, we have 2 elements, 1 oxygen, and number of oxygen atoms is 3. The name of metal remains as it is. In this case, the metal is potassium. And when we have 3 oxygen atoms, the non-metal is given the suffix "ate." So we get chlorate. So the name of KClO3 is potassium chlorate. So these are the rules which are followed when we have 2 elements in a compound and oxygen.